I know you're getting sick of all these gurus that are going on social media and teaching you a new business model each and every single year. Back in 2016, it was Amazon FBA, it was dropshipping. 2019, it was SMMA. 2021, it was crypto. And 2024, it was stocks. Guys, I'm getting sick of it too. So today, I'm gonna give you a framework, and it's a known framework that's going to help you find the business, not the one they wanna sell you courses on, but the business that's best for you. Today, we're gonna talk about a concept that a lot of you may have heard about called Ikigai. I know that sounds a little foreign, but it's a Japanese cultural concept which was created, and it literally stands for a reason for being. I'm not gonna teach you exactly how to start a business. That's not what I'm doing here, right? My goal here is to help guide you in finding the right business for you. Because at the end of the day, we're not here to make money and then die, okay? We're here to live good lives, fulfilling lives, be happy, ultimately do something good for the world at the end of the day. Now, why should you listen to me? My name is Shah, and I have built 4 companies over the last 10 years, and we did $9.5 million in sales just last year, and we're looking at hopefully increasing 20% this year. So I'm not saying I'm some sort of specialist or guru, but I have learned some things throughout the year. So hopefully whatever I've learned, I can pass that knowledge on to you, and hopefully you keep coming back to this channel because I'm gonna be making a lot more videos for you guys similar to this one. So let's go ahead and get started, guys. Number 1, when it comes to Ikigai, one of the first things that we're gonna look into is what you love. This is one of those things, right? Everyone's always says it's the generic thing. Find something you're passionate at. Now, here's the thing. Yes, that is a part of the Ikigai framework. However, it's not the only part. When we talk about passions, guys, some of you guys might be passionate about painting. Some of you guys might be passionate about video games. But here's the problem. If you go pursue a career in painting or a career in video games, chances are you're probably not gonna make much money, if any at all, right? It takes, you might have to be the top 0.01% of people in this world in order to make money at that, right? So although passion is important, it's not the only thing. Now, what do we define passion as? So passion is defined as however much of your free time you spend on something over the total free time that you have. What do you spend your free time doing? If you take that and put it over your total free time, that ultimately defines what you love doing, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and leave that right up here. The second thing we're gonna discuss is going to be something that's really important and not talked about enough. What the world needs. Now, look around you. What does the world need? I mean, if you're in a town where water is not necessarily readily available, maybe you want to start a water filtration company, something that helps your community. Start small, start by looking around where you live, answer the question, figure out what the world actually needs, what your community needs. So let's talk about that for a second. At the end of the day, your impact on the world depends on a couple different things. Number 1, it starts off by the number of people that you help. For example, a teacher affects all of the students that they teach, right? A police officer affects all of the people that they protect. So for example, if you're a teacher, you might look at a tutoring business. If you're a police officer, you might look at becoming a personal security guard. Now, the depth of impact is the second factor. If you take the product of the number of people you've helped and you multiply that by the depth of impact per person, that's when you really get the equation that equates to impact on the world. Like I said, you should look within your community before you look elsewhere, because at the end of the day, the people who are closest to you are the ones that should be deserving of your attention, deserving of your help first. And so we're gonna go ahead and put that here. Now we're gonna move on to number 3. What can you be paid for? Now this right here is what most of us call a job. Like I said, we're not living here for money, but at the end of the day, we do need to survive, right? We need to pay our bills, we need to take care of our families, we need to take care of rent, mortgages, so on and so forth. We need to figure out how we can go get a job and provide for ourselves and provide for our families. So that brings me to point number 3, which is what can you be paid for? So let's talk about earning potential. This is an equation which takes your hourly rate for the skill that you can learn and get a job for, and then multiply that times the demand for that skill. What you're doing here is you're going and figuring out what skill you can learn, right? Let's take an engineer, for example, or an investment banker. As an engineer, you might go to school, you might learn a bunch of mathematics and physics, and then go get a job because you know that they get paid a high hourly rate. And there's also a high demand for engineers. These are businesses or jobs that you can get, and most of what you can be paid for is always gonna be looked at as a job. So we're gonna go and move that here. And then we're going to finish off the circles with what you are good at. So we're talking about talent. If you were born and you were just a natural born athlete, and you're 6'7" and you weigh 220 pounds pure muscle, chances are you're probably pretty good at basketball if you've done any practice at all. Or for example, let's just say a video editor. Maybe you just understand how you can make people feel a certain way when they're watching a video, right? This would make you probably a pretty good video editor. Now, did anyone teach you that? Did you go to class for that? Did you actually go learn a skill to be able to do that? No, you just have this natural talent and innate ability to be able to watch a video and really feel the emotions behind that video. So that brings me to number 4, what you are good at. Now, talent is the innate ability that you have as a human divided by how hard you have to try. The other thing that describes talent is going to be how hard you actually have to work. If you have to work really, really hard on whatever it is that you say you're talented at, chances are you're probably not talented. Chances are that you're probably skilled. For example, let's just say you're coding and you want to go build a SaaS company. You might have been really good at interpreting code just when you started. I personally am not the best at reading code. And so therefore, when I took my coding classes, I was terrible, right? I think I got like C minuses. So I'm not necessarily a coder. However, what I am good at is relationship building, networking, distribution, marketing, right? And so what I obviously am doing right now in this video is essentially helping you guys by the talent that I have for distribution, for the talent for marketing. So that lands us at the big reason for this video. What is Ikigai? Ikigai is going to be all 4 of these things that we just talked about and then blending them all together. And that right there is going to be your reason for being. Now, we got to talk about why we have this Venn diagram. There's obviously some sort of overlap. So we're going to talk about what these different overlaps mean. So when you're good at something and you love something, this is considered your passion. If you love something and it's also what the world needs, this right here is your mission. This is something that really makes you feel alive and it makes you feel fulfilled, like you're doing something for the world. So next we have, if you obviously have what the world needs and you blend that with what you can be paid for, this would be called vocation, right? So this is work that you do, kind of like charity work or work that you do to help others because you can be paid for it, but at the same time, the world does need it. And so therefore you are in an industry in which you are helping people that are in need, but also at the same time, you're also being paid for it, right? And then last we have the one that is what you are good at. And then in between what you're good at and what you can be paid for, we have profession, right? So this is usually the people that end up landing a job. These people obviously work, generally speaking, work 9 to 5s. Like it was talking about the engineers. They were able to go to school and they graduated, right? Doctors went to med school, they graduated, and then they got paid, right? So that would be a profession: engineer, doctor, investment banker, so on and so forth. So when you take your profession, your passion, your mission, and your vocation, and you hit all of those nails on the head, that's when you land on Ikigai. Generally speaking, most people don't feel fulfilled until their profession, passion, mission, and the vocational side of their life has been fulfilled. Now, you can sit down and take this framework right here and really think about each one of these individually, put them on a list, and once you have them on a list, start trying to blend these things together and then try to come up with a formula that equates to some end business that you feel like you can open. Now, these people that are selling you SMMA or selling you, FBA, Amazon fulfillment or stocks, you might not even be interested in these things. So you're never gonna feel that passion, right? You're never gonna feel that mission because you're not really helping the world. There's more than enough people trading stocks, and stock trading is a very selfish business that only helps you, right? Same thing goes for what you're good at. You want to do something that you excel at. If you're in a pool of people where there's a million other people doing the same thing, chances are for you to feel like you're doing well, it's gonna take a really, really, really long time. And I'm gonna tell you right now, people end up running out of that time. And what happens is that stress, that anxiety takes over, and then they start feeling like they're lost again. If you are able to write down a list of things that you love, the things that the world needs, especially starting within your own community, what you can be paid for, and then what you're good at, you'll end up finding out that this covers all your passion, mission, profession, and vocational needs, and you'll land at a reason for being. I'm hoping that watching this video, you've gotten ideas, you've thought about what you're good at, you thought about what the world needs and what your community needs around you, and hopefully you can come up with the best idea. Guys, life is not about making money. When I started my companies, I started in cars. I loved cars. I used to work on cars all day and night. Honestly, I didn't really know how much money I was gonna make, but one thing I did know was that I was good at it and I loved it. It was my passion, and I felt like I could do something good in the community because the car community obviously does not have that many great facilities where they can bring their cars. And I specifically wanted to work with people who baby their cars, who take care of their cars. And of course, in the meantime, I also did make videos and I did do a bunch of content about the work that I did to help inspire younger people. And so now I ended up also touching on the side of what the world needs and the vocation side of it. And of course, what I could be paid for. I ended up getting all these categories together and I opened up my shop. And that was probably the best thing that I've ever done in my life. Now, am I a billionaire? No. Am I going to live a pretty good life? Yeah, I'd say so, right? 10 years in, I think that I'm gonna live a pretty good life, thank God. And I think that if I didn't think about this when I first started, it would have been very difficult for me because obviously as brown family or Asian family parents do, my brown parents were really focused on the whole profession side of things, right? They wanted me to become a lawyer, an engineer. And I actually went to school for a couple of years, actually 3 years, to become a mechanical engineer. And eventually I decided, you know what, this is just not really making me feel like there's a reason for me to be here, right? And that's when I really started focusing on these 3 other things right here. And I realized that I shouldn't be focused on the money, but rather what fulfills me as a person. So if you think that this framework right here can help you, number one, I want you to go ahead and subscribe to this channel right now and comment down below and let me know that this helped you, please, because it helps guide me on what videos I should be making for you guys. I'm gonna be making a lot of videos on these type of ideologies and things that helped guide me when I felt lost when I was starting my own company. And I'm also gonna be making videos on more direct advice on what you can take to build your next company if you're looking to build a business. And hopefully, I can help one of you guys out, even if it helps just 1 or 2 of you guys out. Honestly, I'm gonna continue making these videos. I don't care how many views they get. I'm not doing this for the money. I'm doing this ultimately because I believe that it is what the world needs and I'm going and chasing my ikigai. So thank you so much for watching, guys. My name is Shah.Siddiki. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I hope to see you next time.